straight up to center. Flamers leading the way. The entire German force has now been forced off the field.
What's going to happen? This! Point flag! No, Crump, not that way! Check it out! This is the most hero squad we've ever seen. Alias is completely surrounded. The MP's here. I don't think the rifle should try to grab his bubbles. The third shell takes out the entire howitzer. No carcass.
Run! On-map artillery!
Insane howitzer.
On-map artillery! Huge! That was off-map artillery. That was smoke was dropped. I think.
My God! His game went down.
Next to the bunker.
Some DevM supplies. Looks like Seth is going for a DevM style knockout punch here in the early round. Oh man, these two rifles are all over it. DevM, of course, did not retreat the rifles. Wow, the swim rocket's about to go too, and this is exactly what we're talking about.
Oh, down goes the counter snipe right there. He saw it. He took the shot. That's what he was waiting for.
Mind
We have
flail.
the Minesweeper, the Mind Flail.
Oh man, how about that? And he almost swept some mine. And look at the swim. Pokes through, gets an angle on the sniper. He's now going to commit the chase and gets the kill.
The kid under for Portugal, DevM, is going to the finals.
Alajaz is all over Symbiosis. The MP is about to go down. It's not even firing. He's trying to pack up. There's no way he's taking it home. One iron cross and that's it. Then he throws it in. GG!
Defend the fatherland until death.
Hello, fight fans, and welcome to the penultimate episode of Sunday Night Fights. That's right, this is the finale of Season 4. We have got the championship title fight coming right up for you. I'm AmiPolizeiFunk. I would like to give a warm welcome to my cohort, my guest caster. He's been my right-hand man all season long. Say hello to the trademark, Yoink.
Happy Sunday, everybody, and what a Sunday it's going to be tonight. Our final game, 10 weeks of hard fighting leads to this. And what an amazing new video by Linsky. That was amazing.
It really gets the achievement, the Chills achievement. I've got him. Nerd Chills achieved. Thank you, Linsky, for that. Taking us through the season, following Fir3ball and DevM on their rocky road to get to these finals. Woo! Can't wait to see these games. But before we get into the games, we've got more special guests to introduce. Hailing from Great Britain, top co-player, great advice giver, and notorious forum sledgehammer, it's Razor. How you doing, Razor?
I'm doing good, thanks, Ami. It's great to be here. I gotta say, I'm so excited after that video. This is going to be an amazing series of matches. The grand finale, the heavyweight champion is going to be crowned tonight, guys. The heavyweight champion of the world.
Champion of the world! That's right, and I have no idea who it's going to be. It's going to be too close to call. It'll be a best-of-5 series. We're going back to the traditional maps. We're going to see Semois, Langres, and perhaps even Angleville if it goes that far. We have another extra special guest tonight. Sunday Night Fights. Come on, give me some claps. Give me some claps in the auditorium. We got to roll out the red carpet for none other than Company of Heroes 2 lead designer. It's Relic's Quinn Duffy. Quinn, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's great to be here. That was an awesome opening, guys. What a way to set it all up.
Yes, we are eager. We've been looking forward to this. It's almost bittersweet because No, there's going to be a little void on Sunday nights after SNF goes off air for Season 4, but we can guarantee you fans that we will be back with Season 5 on Company of Heroes 2. Before we get into the games, Quinn, we get this excellent opportunity to pick your brain a little bit. There's been a lot of news going on lately. I will hand it over to Yoink to begin this interview. NTD's got the splash screens going with the shots from Company of Heroes 2 looking beautiful. Take it away, Yoink.
Thank you, Ami. And I just wanted to say welcome to the show, Quinn. It's wonderful to have you. We're going to talk today a little bit about Company of Heroes 2, obviously, that you've been working on for how many months now, I'm sure. But the first thing that I wanted to ask you that I think maybe every fan out there wants to ask you is, how are you doing right now?
Well, I appreciate it. I think we're doing really well. This was a very tough week, I think, for everybody on the team, and obviously everybody at THQ. These are people we know. You can't help but sort of take their circumstances personally. But as I mentioned in my forum post, COH2 is continuing. We're going to keep moving forward on that. There's new, I think, vitality on the team and excitement to push this game forward with Sega, and we're working hard on it.
Well, that's great to know that Relic has survived. For all of our fans out there, I think that anybody who's watching the show knows that Sega is now the new owner of Relic. And during this time, did work stop, or are you continuing to work on Company of Heroes 2 this last week?
No, work didn't stop. It might have slowed down for a couple of days. There were some time period in there where I think everybody was following Twitter and the online posts about the process that was happening in Delaware at the bankruptcy court, and it was hard not to. And I think there was some expectation that we were going to lose a couple of days of development over the time period. But all in all, the process was to keep focusing on what we were doing. Keep working on bugs, keep working on changes, and just be ready for what's next.
Well, what's next is, of course, what is on everybody's mind, and that is the release of the beta. Now, has Sega changed that timeline at all? Are we still looking at something this month or in the very near future for a beta release?
We haven't heard anything definitive. We haven't even met with Sega regarding these kinds of decisions, so we were ready to push out a beta towards the end of January here, and we're I think when they make a decision, we're basically ready to go. I think we'll need some time to lock down and stabilize things and make sure we're putting a really stable, solid beta out to the community. But when we get some decision from them and have a chance to discuss this with them, I think the turnaround will be pretty quick.
So that leads me to another question, and that is, it seems at this point then, no one from Sega has even really contacted you at Relic to talk about Company of Heroes, or if they're going to make any changes or have any sort of input on how the game is made?
No, but my sense is, in meeting with some of them a couple of weeks ago, that they bought Relic for a reason, and they didn't buy Relic to impose, I think, their vision. I think they appreciated what we were doing and what we've done as a studio in the past, and what we were doing on COH2. The studio has a strong legacy, and they obviously saw a strong fit with what they're doing. They paid a significant amount of money for Relic and for Company of Heroes, and my feeling is, this is my personal feeling, that they're not going to want to change the formula of the success that we've had.
That's good to know. Final question before I move it on to Ami is, this is something that fans have actually been talking to me about over this last week as I've been chatting with them in-game, and that is, if there was one thing that you would want our fans to tell Sega, and when I say our fans, I mean fans of the game, what would it be? If there was something that you wanted the fans of Company of Heroes to communicate to Sega, what do you think it would be?
Gosh, that's a tough one. I don't know, maybe print more copies. I'd love to see this game go big. It's we love the franchise, we love the original. It's had great critical acclaim, and I'd love to see a ton of people playing this game and you know, learning from the game. I'd like to see you guys have 10,000 viewers for your next Sunday night fights. I think that'd be awesome.
Well, we agree, and we're on track, and we know you won't let us down with a great game. So, Ami, did you have some questions about his work with Company of Heroes 2?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to get into some of the research that's gone into these two games. I think a lot of the reason many of us love them so much is because they are based on actual historical events. You know, I live in Berlin, so I'm in the heart of it. This city wears its history on its sleeve, and its World War II history is so incredible. I just wanted to ask you a little bit of questions about what went into the research of these games, and let's just start with Co-1. What was your involvement in the original Company of Heroes?
I was the sort of the gameplay lead, the gameplay supervisor on the original Company of Heroes. So, you know, it was really about turning the vision of the sort of, you know, real battlefields, real soldiers, and this you know, this inspiration we had from movies like Saving Private Ryan and Band of Brothers, and turn that into RTS gameplay. And so that was really my background there, was in developing and helping to develop some of the systems that the game used in terms of combat and so on. And I was a big World War II nerd and a military history nerd, and so I feel like I was able to bring some aspects of realism and context to the game. That, you know, that we love to talk about kind of authenticity, and I've mentioned it before, and it's really about that tone and feeling, and I think we delivered something really unique with the original.
Yeah, it's such a rich environment. The setting, the voice acting, the sound effects, the modeling on the units. I mean, everything. It just puts you in a place that we love to go. 6 years later, you know, we still love to go to that place that is Company of Heroes 1, and it's such a treasured experience for us. I mean, I think that really captures why we're all still so enthralled with this game even now. So, Company of Heroes 2 comes along, and you are the lead designer. And was it your idea to do this sort of field trip to Russia and Germany? I want to know as much as you'll tell me about it. I want to know everywhere you went. How did that come about?
You know, I don't know what the original impetus was. It just kind of came up one day, and you know, we decided we were going to do it. And the amazing thing was that we got support to do it, because these kinds of trips aren't cheap. You know, we went to St. Petersburg for 6 days. We went to Berlin for 6 days, and really tried to immerse ourselves in the sort of the environment. We went to St. Petersburg in February of 2011, right towards the end of February. That's a cold, snowy, miserable time of year to go to Russia. But that was part of that journey, was experiencing some of the misery of that cold and the snow, and you know, to kind of be there, get a sense of that history, to be in the place where people were fighting so fiercely and where people were killed, is incredible. It brings that history to life in a way that you just cannot imagine. And you know, the fact that you live in Berlin, I think, is really exciting, because Berlin was incredible. And you walk around, you know, the museum district, or you know, you see the S-Bahn lines, the train lines that run through Berlin, and they're just pockmarked with bullets, and you can tell what happened there. There's a story written on that wall, and just to be there and see that was absolutely incredible.
The fact that, you know, just Hitler never gave up. It was to the very last day, and that there was just such intense fighting in the streets of Berlin. I mean, when I go on bike rides around the town and I'm in the forests, I'm imagining like soldiers trooping through the forest, you know, 50 or 60 years ago, and it's intense. It's still a big part of this city, you know. It was such a major world event. Any specific places that you went that you could tell us about, like a story from your trip, something you really treasure even now?
Well, I think actually the most compelling day for me personally was a trip we took out to the Zeylau Heights, and we walked down on the Oder floodplain where the Soviets had crossed kind of into Germany proper, and we took a battlefield tour with the museum director of the Zehlau Heights Museum, who doesn't speak English. We had a translator with us, but he's former East German military, and so he has a really clear understanding of the flow of the battle and what had happened, and you know, there were 2 king tigers knocked out here, and you can see the topography, you can see how open it is, and you can see the size and scale of what the Zehlau Heights were like, and you can imagine the Russians trying to get their way up the Zehlau Heights and the Germans firing down from the Zehlau Heights, and your imagination just runs wild. And so we took a tour in a van around that whole area and saw some of the critical moments of the battle and the locations. That for me was just living history.
Intense. And when you were in St. Petersburg or around Russia, was there a military museum there that you visited? I visited Bovington in the UK, and also the Imperial War Museum. But I was in St. Petersburg once, but I never actually went to any war museums there. Did you go?
Yeah, we went to there's the Central Museum of Artillery, or the museum, you know, the military artillery and combat engineers. So it's got a crazy long title. It's in a former armory near the Peter and Paul Fortress in St. Petersburg, and so that was it's full of Soviet equipment from you know, from the dawn of their nation. You know, they've got cannons and things going back to the 1500s and earlier, all the way through World War II and even later. We went to a number of siege museums, and seeing, you know, what the people went through as part of the siege. You know, for those of you who don't know the history, Leningrad at the time was besieged by the Germans, and maybe 1 million people starved to death. So you see what they were going through, what their rations looked like, and for me, I've got a couple of kids, and one of the moments that was really sort of heart-wrenching for me was seeing the drawings of children that children had made with crayons on paper, like they would at school, and the subjects that they were drawing, people, you know, dead people and frozen people and German tanks, and you know, I can't imagine my 6-year-old drawing pictures like that. That's, you know, that was a challenging moment. And we went outside the city as well to the Sinyavino Heights battlefield and to the Finnish front lines to get a sense of the topography. But the snow was 3 feet deep. We couldn't really go that far. But you know, that's a different experience, trudging through 3 feet of snow.
Yeah, the living conditions all over Europe during the early 40s were just unfathomable. I have a son as well, and I, you know, see these situations where, you know, like in England, they were being bombed relentlessly, and they were living in the tube lines and you know, the bunkers all over Germany and in France and in Russia. It's just, and you read these, just, of course, completely inhumane stories, and man, it just rocks your world. And I mean, I love that you went there and just soaked up that flavor, and I'm sure that it'll go through your experience into this game. And so I'm really excited to what you guys have for us, even for the campaign, and for the maps that you choose, the battles you pick, to the stories you decide to tell in KOTU. I'm just thrilled. If we could move a little bit more towards what we're doing here, Sunday Night Fights. This game lends itself to storytelling, and I think as such it makes perfect for broadcasting, because you know, unlike other games where it's fanciful units and you know, a lot of mathematics, like this game seems to tell a unique story every time, so it's just a perfect fit with broadcasting. Is there anything that you guys are doing now in KOTU to sort of facilitate this and, you know, push it further?
I think you sort of hit the nail on the head there. That you know, one of our creative visions for the game was that every battle tells a story, and we want that to be true. And that comes down to presentation. It comes down to the quality of the game. It comes down to the quality of the balance. You know, I want to see ebbs and flows and comebacks and, you know, variety of units being used, and you know, emergent tactics and all kinds of crazy happening, because that's what a battlefield, I think, would have felt like. And right to the, you know, the core of the design of the game, that sort of randomness, the little bit of the variance that we work into those systems. It's about delivering narrative and tension and the sort of just the craziness. I mean, the excitement that you see in a game where somebody's tank, takes an engine critical at the worst possible moment, but it amps everybody up, and that's what I love about it. So, first things first is we want to deliver that experience again. That's a huge focus for us.
We're very much looking forward to it. We got a little taste during the alpha. I'd like to bring Razor on now to maybe ask you some questions about what we've seen so far and some of the hot issues in the community now is what we'll see in the future. Razor?
Hi Quinn, I'd like to just extend my thanks for you coming on. It's really great to have someone like the lead designer of COH2 come on and speak with us. We've been speaking at some length. I know people want to start seeing the game, so I'm going to just hit you with the one main controversial topic, mirror matches. I'd like you to discuss the history behind why you guys implemented mirror matches initially, what do you think you're going to do with them, the direction, and whether or not you're going to keep them in the game, if they're going to be in the beta. What do you think about mirror matches yourself?
Well, let's start with your last point. That as a history buff, I have to admit I find them challenging. As a game designer and as somebody partly responsible for the success of a product, we want to make sure that people can get online and play quickly and have a big pool of people to play with, and that they're not spending 8 minutes waiting for a game because there's no mirror. Now, we haven't made a complete decision on this. We were going to test some stuff in the beta regarding mirror match. And so we're going to see how that continues to play out. I know that the feeling is really passionate on both sides, and we understand that. We've been following the arguments intensely. Maybe it'll help if I give you some of that background on mirror matches. When we did the original COH beta, the #1 complaint we addressed early on was the fact that there were no mirror matches. And so it's kind of interesting that we've kind of gone full circle in this. It took us a long time, I think, to get the tone of the experience to people and say this is really about allies versus Axis. This is about asymmetry. This is about presenting history. And I think that message stuck, which is a really positive thing. Now, when we're talking about it again, we're getting in many ways the opposite kind of feedback. So, but from development, we started with the idea that we would do mirror matching really as a way to discipline ourselves internally. And when we're building the game and the game data, COH was huge and messy and complicated and under the hood. And the systems we used in the combat, the target type systems, really wouldn't allow mirror matching. And so it gave us a bit of a crutch. We could balance any unit against any unit any way we wanted. And what happened was you get inconsistent rules and inconsistent gameplay. So right from the get-go, we wanted to simplify all of that stuff and make it as clear and transparent as possible. And that helps the game. It helps you guys as shoutcasters. It helps the players understand what's happening. The byproduct is we can do mirror matching. We have the ability to do it. It also allowed us to do things like abandoning vehicles, because those vehicles are inherently going to be balanced in systems other than using target type. So there's a lot of internal factors that kind of allow us to do mirror matching. So, we're going to see how it goes. We have the ability to turn it on or off. We can turn it on for auto match and off for custom, and vice versa. And we're gonna look at those variables as when the beta comes out.
Well, I personally am in favour, and I know that most people are against. So I'll be interested to see what the outcome is.
Me too, to be honest. I know that was a very long answer. I don't know if it's going to satisfy everybody, but the fact is that we are listening. We are following the discussion. We know the kind of game that we're making, and we know the kind of systems that we need to support it one way or another. So we'll look at it that way.
Do you have another question, Razor? Because I have one. I mean, personally, when I first played the game at Gamescom, the pre-alpha, I was kind of shocked that all of the points were just strat points, and you could build whatever resource that you wanted, and that's changed a bit now. In the alpha, I see you do have high points that are in the middle of the map, to be contested, and I really appreciate that change. Can you talk about why a change was put on the table in the first place? Because honestly, I never heard any complaints about the original COH resource system.
Part of it was you know, an issue of breadth and trying to broaden the sort of the accessibility of the resource system to a greater range of players. What we found in watching matches and seeing how games were played is that they a lot of times came down to very specific cutoff points, and it's great for sort of you know, more pro-level players because they understand the systems and the mechanics and they know the maps, and but the broader kind of player constituency they had challenges with some of those systems, and so what we wanted to do was make it maybe a little more democratic, as a word. So what we've done now is kind of augment a bit of a hybrid, like you mentioned, those high points, and we also have a couple of different map sort of game types. We've got the front line and we have what we're calling the battlefield, and those differ in asymmetry and cutoff mechanics, and we're trying to introduce slightly different sort of gameplay styles on, you know, utilizing the same map. From a development standpoint, it also allows us to utilize our resources, I think, a little more effectively. We can use maps, you know, in multiple ways. It's easier for us to make maps and modify maps and change up the gameplay. So there were a number of reasons we did it. I feel like with the hybrid points, the high points, and the regular points, we've introduced a few more points per map after the alpha test, and tried to work more on some of the cutoff mechanic stuff that you know, you guys will see in the beta. And I think we've got a system that feels spiritually, you know, connected to the original and still offers a lot of the gameplay of the original.
Nice. Yoink or Razor, you guys have any more specific questions perhaps about the Code 2 and the alpha that we've seen?
I do, real quick, if I could ask a quick question of Quinn. You know, one of the things that made me fall in love with Company of Heroes, beyond just the great gameplay and the historical aspect of it, was the outstanding voice acting and music that was a part of that game. And in the alpha, for Company of Heroes 2, I'm already seeing a part of that. Can you talk a little bit about how, you know, the voice acting and the music direction came together for Company of Heroes 2?
Yeah, we've got a great audio director on the team, Dave Wren, and he's had a really strong vision for the music and for the speech, and you know, the music that's going to be in the game. You guys have had a taste of it. We recorded it all in outside Vienna, just over the sort of the Czech border, with a full sort of philharmonic, and it's just absolutely incredible. So the music, you know, really sets the tone. It feels, you know, like it's got that kind of Eastern element, but still feels familiar. You know, it's got some of the COH themes with a new twist on it. It's really incredible. So the speech stuff, when you guys played the alpha, I think we probably had about half the speech in the game at that point. So the speech, there's a lot more of it. We just finished off our final recording, and part of that was to you know, find out what we had missed and build up some more of that COH flavor. So speech is, you know, it's important. There's a lot of feedback in the speech system, as well as that kind of providing the context and the flavor.
Can I jump in for a second? The Eastern Front is so bleak. I mean, you watch a movie like Stalingrad or something, and it hits you so hard. Were you able to retain the humor? Because I just loved how funny the Americans and even the Wehrmacht are in the original Company of Heroes. Were you able to retain that in the sequel?
Yeah, I think so. It's a, you know, I think it's a case of trying not to be campy. Like we want to get humor, but avoid a little bit of some of the camp that we had in the original. So, I mean, I always told the guys that, you know, the Battlefield humor it's dark humor, it's gallows humor. The Russians are sort of darkly humorous people. The Germans have a really sort of dark humor. And so it's kind of finding some of that vibe, and you know, I love the kind of some of the complaints and things that we've written into the game that you hear as battle chatter. I think that really helps to deliver on some of that humorous tone without, trying not to be too campy about it.
Well, I think I speak on behalf of the fans here that we are just so thrilled and so excited and so enthusiastic. There have been some hiccups in the past week. Some things might be delayed a little bit, but I think I speak on behalf of all of us that we are still just as excited about Company of Heroes 2 as we ever were. So I look forward to this transition being complete. You guys get your Facebook and your social media back up and running, and your forums. I appreciate that you come to our forums, co2.org. We hope to see more of you there. And man, shout-outs you want to give before we get into these games here?
I don't know. I'd like to thank you guys as fans, as a community. It's really gratifying to sort of see the response. I can tell you, I echo that sentiment completely. We are really excited about this game, about getting it out, about working with the community, over the next who knows how many years to make it the best game we absolutely can. I think that was, we saw that in COH. I want to make sure that we are more involved and and we're listening to the fans and working on the game together to make it as amazing and as the original. We get this. I'd love to see people playing COH 2 in 6 years. I really would.
Oh yes, and hopefully Sega will give you the sort of advertising budget that you need so that, give this game some legs and it will run. We'll do everything we can to create new events and get the top players going at each other's throats like they will be later tonight. Thank you, Quinn, for taking time out of your morning. It's a busy time for you, I'm sure. I'll let you get back to work. You're in the office now, right?
I am. Yep, I came in to do it here. I'm actually, I'm gonna watch the SNF. I'm gonna play a few games of COH 2 before I head home, and it feels like a pretty good day.
Oh, Trollface, that's right, everybody. He's gonna play COH 2, and you're not. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming in. It's been excellent. It's really informative and colorful interview. Thank you very much. Enjoy the games and have a wonderful Sunday. And yeah, we look forward to Code 2.
Thanks, Quinn.
You too, guys. Thanks very much.
Okay, if NTD would move us over to the Season 4 brackets. Gotta get the hype rolling, get people excited. Here we go. We're gonna see the finals tonight, folks. Look at this. After 10 weeks of fighting, we are now down to 2. I think the semifinals might have seen some upsets. Perhaps people were expecting to see a final between Aimstrong and Symbiosis, but that is not the case. DevM outlasted Aimstrong in the semis, and Fir3ball pretty much put the beat down on Symbi in the right side bracket. So here we are. Look at this. The championship title fight is coming up. There's only one slot left to be filled in, and that is the SNF Heavyweight Champion of the World. If NTD would show us this beautiful fight card. I learned that Seb H is from Germany, so I think the proper way to pronounce his name is Seb Hogene, perhaps. Oh, pronunciations. We got to get into that later. I did some research. I now know how to pronounce the armies perfectly. I had gotten them a little bit wrong last week. But look at this, DevM. Don't you dare say Wehrmacht, because that just hurts me. Hurts my ears. No, it's okay. Nothing you could say, you silver-tongued devil, would ever hurt my ears. So here we are, championship fight. Look at that belt. One of these guys that's going to take it home, and also going to take home a very nice NVIDIA 680 GTX graphics cards. That's right, and that thing is worth a pretty penny, man. That is top of the line. That thing a rock, Kotu. Razor, can you talk to us a little bit about this upcoming fight?
Well, it's heavyweights. It really is. These guys, they've fought each other 6 times in major tournaments in the past. These guys are experienced veterans of the tournaments. They fought in the last season finale. They're fighting in this season's finale. If you talk to people and you say, which players do you not want to face? These 2 guys will be top of the list. You say Aimstrong, great player. Symbiosis, never loses a unit. Cepha got all the experience in the world. You ask them who they're terrified of, who really scares them, who they sweat when they see. It's DevM. It'll be DevM every single time. This guy comes into games against the best players in the world, 10 minutes, he's beaten you. Next game, 10 minutes, he's beaten you again. Next game, 10 minutes, he's beaten you. Half an hour is normally how long one game takes. He will 3-0 you in half an hour, this guy.
He is to be feared, that's for sure. But Fir3ball's got some punches of his own. In those 6 series that they've played in big tournaments and SNFs, they are 3-3, split right down the middle. And Hixie made me aware that I had forgotten, you know, in Season 2, we used to do the matchups by invite. We would just pick 2 players that we thought the fans would like to see. It was totally show match style, right? There was no overall tournament or competition. DevM and Fir3ball fought in Season 2, like a year and a half ago. You know, it's just amazing. So this will be the trifecta. They will have fought in the last 3 seasons of SNF, you know, in S3 and S4 as the finale. Yoink, man, what do you think of these players?
You know, I am really excited to see both of them here in the final, mainly because watching DevM evolve over the course of this season has been really exciting for me. I mean, I was just looking at the bracket that NTD had showed. If you could put that up again, you'll see that DevM's name is actually on there like 4 times. I mean, he was in contender bout number 2, and then he was in contender bout number 3, and then of course he's in the final 4, and now he's a finalist. So he's just been all over the place in, you know, this season of Sunday Night Fights. You know, he lost to Symbiosis, but then, you know, he 3-0'd Cepha in contender bout number 4, and, you know, Fir3ball, of course, he was just, his game against Twister was super exciting, and that led him into the semi-contender, I mean, the semifinals against Symbiosis. I mean, just watching these 2 guys now come together, I really don't know who has the upper hand in this game. I mean, it's 50-50. I really can't pick a winner of this one. It's going to be exciting to watch.
Well, heck. Let's do this thing! NTD, take us in game. Let's get it started. We are on Semwa, the most preferred map in Sunday Night Fights. We did a lot of vetoes during these tournaments, and Semwa was played the most because it is probably the best balance, and we always get a great action-packed game. We used to start with it in Season 3, and it never let us down. Let's see what we've got. Season 4, the championship belt on the line. Razor, are you ready to get into this thing?
Hells yes.
All right, I'm following DevM. I'm paused at 5 seconds. What, dude, bro, what? Oh, NTD's game crashed. We're just going to have to just simmer a little bit longer, Company of Heroes fans, as NTD gets back in here.
Wait, his
Okay,
game didn't
we'll
crash.
jump
We're
in.
just playing the game at night.
We're milking it. We're milking
I'll
the
jump in
moment.
and talk quickly
Quinn,
about
get him back.
Fir3ball and DevM so far this season, because they've both had extremely long seasons. Aim Strong qualified straight away out of the season, you know, in the next game he played basically, and Symbiosis similarly qualified in the second qualifier and then was out in his semi-final. These guys fought through lots of qualifiers. They took some heavy losses, and they came back. They reached the peak at the right time, especially Fir3ball. The semi-final the other weekend, he dominated Symbiosis. It was brutal. It was almost a 3-0, really. If he had held on in the first game a little bit longer with his US, then it would have been a 3-0.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a crazy matchup. It really is.
Yeah, Ali, it seemed like he had that game, that first game as Americans last week, and then he just made some just awful blunders, like running a sniper in uncloaked and getting killed, and you know, picking a bad artillery target, going after those 2 Pumas that just, you know, easily got out of the way. But all right, here we are. NTD's back. You paused on 5 seconds. NTD, our observer extraordinaire. You ready to rock this? I'm getting the hold on. I should do it with my drum. Here, Yoink, talk to me while I set up a drum roll for game 1 of the finale.
You know, this game between these 2 guys is going to be epic. Certainly, the fact that we're starting these first 2 games on Semwa means we're going to see all kinds of great opportunities. I'm sure Razor will agree that Semwa has so many opportunities for teching in different directions and taking different tactics in different directions, but it looks like NTD is ready, so I think maybe Ami's going to give us one of his famous drum rolls. Can you take it away?
All right,
Like
folks,
half a
here we
drum
go.
roll there. All right.
Really? Well, you got a bit. You got a taste. Razor, yoink. For Quinn out there, for Relic, you guys rock. We're going to unpause this game in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good luck, Star Exchange. Good luck. Have fun. Razor, you are following Alliage, or Fireball. You can say it alternatively, but don't mess up the pronunciation of his name. It's a tricky one. A lot of tricky pronunciations in this game. Wehrmacht, Oster. Huh? I got it, huh? Oh, it's a double E. You got to go long on the hair. Osther. Osther. What do you think, Germans? I've been practicing. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm following Fireball, playing as the, I think it's pronounced United States faction, or Americans, it's sometimes pronounced as well. But I'm going to be following him, and Semois, you know, I hopefully pronouncing that correctly, Semois, best map in COH, most balanced map. Always get a good long game on Semois. The fuel is easily defendable, people will tech up, generally quite slowly because of the narrow alleyways, the incredible power of mines on this map. AT guns have very good channels of fire, so you get good weapon team play, you get good vehicle play. This is the map for COH, and I'm so pleased it's the first game.
Me too. We got Volks coming out first for the damn evil, vicious mouse. Razor, my fingers are mouse sticky. I got it. I got the butter fingers, man. Quinn has got me so nervous. He's such a smooth talker, isn't he? Man, he's given so many interviews. His answers were so colorful and so concise. Really, just wonderful to have him. He made interviewing quite easy. But if you could give me a time sync, I've totally tabbed out and paused accidentally multiple times.
I'm at 150, 151, 152, 53, 54, 55, 56.
All right,
7.
great. Right with you. Okay, good. MG second coming out for DevM. I wonder, you think we'll see any recon vehicles, bikes or jeeps for either player? What do you think of light vehicles on Semois?
The problem with Semois is that because of all the houses in the center and the heavy cover, they don't have that much impact. I mean, you can use a bike or a jeep to harass the outlying, far-flung sort of munitions points, but most of the fighting is going to happen in this central area, and the bike and the jeep, they don't pack the same kind of punch that a rifleman squad or a Volk squad does. So I doubt we're going to see them, especially not as a third unit.
And does that have to do with the how congested the center is with buildings? I mean, it's kind of difficult for them to have. I mean, they get hung up a lot, and they can get chased down easily, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are good road paths, which you'll see probably later on with Pumas M8s and such. But an early jeep or an early bike can only really just harass off the pioneers in the top corner. It can't do much more than that. It can't push as well as it can on more open maps like Angerville. But we have a first engagement here on the bridge. We've got our engineers and riflemen forcing off these Volks. They're in good cover. The Volks are going to have to just move back.
A very nice soft retreat by DevM. It's one of those pro skills, being able to back out of a fight when you are outgunned. DevM also has a rifle squad decapping that fuel in the north. I wonder if they'll go straight to the high fuel or up to the ammo. I don't know, but DevM's working both sides of the map. Fireball's working both sides, and DevM is concentrating his forces together. These two Volk squads now with an MG should be able to handle these rifles nicely. They might stick around a while if they get into that building. Nope, they don't make it in. They lose a guy and retreat immediately.
Yeah, he knew as soon as he's suppressed, he wasn't going to get in the building before losing at least another man and a lot of HP. Wasn't worth sticking around. But if NTD will just note, we've already had 3 mines placed by these guys. You know, this is top tier play. Mines with the first munitions. There's one next to the fuel for DevM, and then there's a couple around the graveyard for Fireball as well. So I mean, the early game, you're not going to have mines. It's just in the little gap between the little
gap, yeah.
And he's
in there, another one. Oh, he was almost started another one, but it would have been revealed, so he canceled it.
The damage that mines do in the early game, when you're trying to move your infantry around to engage each other, when you're trying to move up MGs and stuff.
There you go, look at that. Point proven, 3 dead Volks as they hit the mine by that little water crossing there south of the graveyard. And instantly they have to go home. The mine in the north was triggered as well by the rifle squad. they somehow managed to not lose any lives. So as long as Fir3ball gets a triage up sooner than later, he should make the best out of that exchange.
I mean, that's 25 munitions, and those guys didn't have to invest any actual like manpower or units into forcing those units off the field, and they got forced off the field. And you see the same mine going down.
Oh my God! Look at this! How could he run into that? Had he stopped paying attention? I mean, the Pioneers lay that mine right in front of those rifles' faces, and they still walked headlong into it. Another one goes off, killing 2 folks. This is just ambush central. You know, they invest so much in mines early. How about investing in minesweepers?
Yeah, I knew that mines would play a big factor. Fir3ball loves using mines, and this is just such a good map for them. Everyone knows all the alleyways so well.
DevM already starting Krieg's barracks. That's pretty early. He did get a sniper out, so his tier 1 is Volk MG Volk sniper. Now I would not call that an extended tier 1, would you, Razor? That's more standard tier 1.
Yeah, it's completely standard. I mean, DevM isn't a big fan of the extended tier 1. He likes to sort of go the tier 2 into tier 3, more, you know, standard teching path. For Fir3ball, though, we had a supply yard that was sort of partially built, and then he obviously realized these mines are doing way too much HP damage to his rifles and had to build triage center.
The Yankees are grabbing our territory.
So he's finishing his supply yard. Now, interesting, I wonder if that means he'll go straight to motor pool and we will not see a WSC. It'll be interesting to see how much damage DevM's sniper can do in the interim. He already has 2 kills. DevM's map control looks wonderful for early Wehrmacht. Is that your opinion as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Fir3ball, honestly, he's been forced to retreat by mines and by MGs so many times that he hasn't really put on that much pressure in terms of map control, and DevM's looking fantastic, especially considering that we've got a triage center, but we don't have any rifleman upgrades, we don't have that much fuel. I mean, we're only sitting on 40 fuel for the US player, so he's going to be a long time for getting his motor pool up, and the tier 2's already up. There'll be a counter, there'll be mines.
Ali's gonna walk right into it again! I swear DevM lays these mines, and if Aliaj was paying attention right as the fog of war opened up, he would have seen the Pios there, and whenever you see Pios hanging around somewhere, you gotta be suspicious, but he just walks into another one.
Yeah, mines win games, as I've always said. You know, way back when I started playing, I played Zephyr, and he said, on Samoa, if you build lots of mines,
it's like
you'll win.
Another one. The Volks by the church, we can't even get a word in. A mine has gone off every 30 seconds in this game.
Yeah, I think this is reminiscent of the sort of DevM Aimstrong series, where neither US player, when they were playing, ever got off a decisive flank or an aggressive move. I mean, he's trying to outcap him. Fir3ball's really trying to outcap him, but it's not working out. He needs to make some kind of incisive move with his rifleman, get a flank off, get some flamers out maybe, and try and get some good crits. Because he's just losing manpower to this sniper, to mines, and constant retreating.
Yeah, it seems like DevM's extended unit of tier 1 is the mine itself. I mean, he has never had to defend any kind of attack. I mean, his MG hasn't been involved in the game. It got chased off when it came out the second time, but it's really been mines that have been stopping all of Fir3ball's movements, and still we don't see an investment in sweepers by either player. Is Fir3ball getting minesweepers?
He just upgraded his squad now.
He does have a pair. Okay, let's see how he uses them. It's always interesting, and I see that the motor pool's pumping.
Yeah, he's getting an M8 out, but it's a reasonably good time for an M8. If you're doing an M8, you want to have it around about 8 minutes, so it's going to be a little late. But on Samoa, I really don't favour it. I really think that it's very difficult to use an M8 effectively. We've seen how many mines. I'm imagining the minesweeper upgrade is in fact just to walk in front of this M8 when it comes out. But there'll be a pack out. There has to be a pack out. It's been so long without any rifle upgrades. DevM's going to get a pack, and he's going to stop the M8, and I think that's... I think it's a wrong choice from Fir3ball, I really do.
The Yankees
Well,
are
you
grabbing
say
our
stop the
territory.
M8 as the flamers pour fire in on this MG and the sniper tries to pick them out of the windows. But we have seen plenty of games on Semwa where the M8 is just an annoying rascal. As long as the player has an idea of where that pack might be, he can easily stay out of range. He's got tons of shot blockers. And the thing about the M8 is that it can rotate. It can go to the upper left part of the map. It can swing back down and go to the right. And it can defend any kinds of harassments. I've seen extremely influential vetted up M8s on Semwa. So it's not like, you know, well, it's all in how he handles it here.
That's true, it can be a great harassment tool, but he's he's done it as his impact tech. That's what all of his fuel has gone into. So it needs to inflict damage now. I mean, it's coming out, hopefully it's going to inflict some damage. If it doesn't, he's going to be way behind on the manpower wall.
There's the first Faust in from the Volksgrenadiers by the graveyard. That was a flanking shot into the side armor. Does a good bit of damage. Doesn't damage an engine or anything,
our
so
sectors have been
Fir3ball
cut
is
off.
able to pull out. We don't see any Shreks being upgraded by DevM yet, but he does have every single unit he's built. And these 2 squads of Grens, I'll keep you posted as one of them upgrades to Shreks. He's really low on ammo after all those mines. He's only got 60 in the bank, so that's preventing him from getting Shreks now.
I don't think he needs the Shreks. I mean, the M8 has to go back and repair now. And his map control's still looking really good. And he's got Grenadiers out killing Riflemen off without too much of a care in the world because the Riflemen don't have bars. Because all the Fireball's
Where did that
fuel's gone
rifle
into that
die? I
M8.
didn't even see it. Ali lost a rifle? Where was it?
I didn't see that either.
Is he short a squad? Retreating through heavy fire. Yeah, he's got some tough retreat paths with the Wehrmacht having a strong control in the center. Look at snipers just like, oh look, more meaty targets. Let's see if he picks one off as they run by. Nope, he must be on hold fire. Look at, see, that's what I'm talking about. He can jump in there and get 3 Volks kills under his belt, and he's going to chase them and see if he can annihilate that squad.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, the Faust's bought enough time for the pack to come out now. It's doing good. The M8 is doing good damage, but he's got to be really careful because he's had so much time with the M8 out. He knows DevM's going to have a pack, so now he's got to be cautious with it. You'll probably see it focusing most of
real
his time
cautious.
up in this left corner. Sorry, up in the
Ooh,
yeah,
if he
up
had
in this top
Viz.
left corner.
The M8 almost was in range of the pack. It's pointing their cloak just on the southern tip of the lake in Semwa here, and the M8. Fortunately, there was no Viz on it. He was in the fog of war, so he didn't get shot at. He's still at pretty good health. He's about 8%. He's going to stop these pioneers from harassing him, and that's great to prevent these harassments, but Aliash really needs to spread his units. He needs to send something over to the right and disallow DevM from focusing, because if he loses that strat point by his base, it could be lights out and he could be locked in.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation, and DevM's still looking great map control. His Burmax play has honestly improved so much this season. It's been a joy to watch. And I'm assuming that he's probably taking up to tier 3 around about now. And he's,
Not
the
yet. He's pumping out units, He's got 2 Grens, he's got the pack.
Well, I
We're
expect to
losing
see a tier
territory.
3 reasonably soon. And Fireball's he needs to get bars, and he needs to get a counter sniper. And he needs to invest so much into countering this combined army of DevMs that when he does do
losing a
those things, the
sector.
tier 3 can have a very big impact. In fact, I think there's a sniper building right now.
And you were right, the Sturm Armory is underway. DevM is so comfortable. He's got plenty of fuel, plenty of resources. He's got almost 400 manpower, 90 fuel. He's just microing in the center. The sniper's getting his licks in. Oh, the pack's rotating. Here comes the M8. M8 gets out of the range of fire. I think Fir3ball has no idea where that pack is, and he wants to reveal it before he brings the M8 in. These flamers might have a huge influence. They come rushing into the graveyard. They get a stripe of vet. Uh-oh, he's very close to a mine behind him. Some off-map artillery going in as soon as he knew where that pack was. Here it comes. Let's see if he can get the kind of shots he got last week and get symbiosis. But look at DevM's pack. It seems to be living a charmed life. Oh, it does get a shot in on the M8, and it survives the artillery entirely. No love. Fir3ball's streak of great arty shots from last week ends here. The rifles actually do the job. Those rifles just barely missed a mine between the church and the graveyard. How did they miss it? And they go in there, and they clear that pack and give the M8 some more room to work. Faust going in. Swallows it up pretty good. He's about 30% health. So we got two snipers here. DevM sniper is uncloaked as he crosses the road. I don't know what's revealing him, but he is uncloaked by that fence. Fir3ball has to retreat his sniper out of range as these two Volks, desperately push in to provide some space, and they get annihilated. It was too much for them. The rifles coming in with bars, and the M8 upgraded with the top gunner just took them down. The sniper is able to backpedal out, and looks like DevM's going to have to lick his wounds, reorganize his forces to try to get back into this. A fantastic attack from Aliash.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That's the incisive US attack. He was waiting until he had the artillery so that he could drop it on the pack. It didn't clear it, but he managed to make a really nice combined arms attack coming in from multiple angles, dropping artillery, throwing the kitchen sink at the Wehrmacht army, and that was a perfect time to do it as well, because the tier 3's starting to roll out now.
The sniper is now reinforced by Big Brother Poomer. Got that there Poomers out on the field picking off rifles. Ali knows exactly where DevM sniper is. He's firing away at these rifles. Ali's sniper is moving to the center. Wow, he gets those mines swept. You know, ding, ding, ding for minesweepers. There are more mines to be swept, and a pack steal in effect. This could be huge if Ali gets away with this pack. Here come the Wehrmacht infantry to try to stop the larceny.
Oh, I think that was a mistake retreating the MG. I think he needed to leave the MG in to try and stop that pack getting stolen. Because if that pack gets stolen, he's gonna be in trouble. Yeah, he knows that. He's bringing the Puma in to try and stop it.
He was going to face the Puma. The Puma gets behind the hedgerow. It's still a fight to the death here in the center. Sniper picking away. DevM sniper trying to get into position. These bars are going to hold off the Volks, and it looks like the larceny achievement is complete. Uh-oh, watch out, DevM, with that sniper. Ali sniper is right, got a beat on you there. You are in his sights, but DevM moves away behind the house. Now we have a Stug on the field. That should provide some relief, but man, this losing of the pack could be massive.
Oh, it really is. I mean, he doesn't have a way of dealing with the AT guns effectively other than his sniper, and if he uses his sniper, it's going to be way too vulnerable to counter-snipe. So that pack's going to zone him out of the center with his vehicles, which he's just invested in tier 3 to try and get out vehicles to give him an impact unit, and he's lost his pack and his impact unit's negated by it. So it's a huge swing in the favor of Fir3ball.
I mean, you gotta love stealing a unit that counters your enemy's newest unit on the field, right? How wonderful it is to have a pack now with that Stug roaming around.
Yeah, I mean, the Stug is, until it gets Vet 2, it's really just a sort of a big lump. It's just a big fat mess. It's not going to do any real damage to anything. The M8 can easily get away from it. It doesn't kill infantry very fast. So, I mean, it's a lot. The Puma and the Stug can't do that much. The M8 can sort of zone them both out, and rifles with stickies can do the same. Losing that pack was a huge blow.
But through all of this, how about DevM's sniper micro? I mean, this guy is putting on a show. This is sniping on Semwa 101. Look how he moves and picks off one guy here and one guy there from different locations. Aliash has had a sniper roaming around the center for a few minutes, and while he's been there, DevM has racked up 22 kills.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I was speaking to these guys before they played, and DevM said, I'm scared of Fir3ball sniper micro. His sniper micro is really good. I'm going to play cautious with mine. Just a complete mind game. Absolutely messing with his head. He's using this sniper so aggressively. It's lovely to watch.
Look at that. He just fires like crazy. It's always one shot. He always repositions after he shoots. To be able to do that and still control the rest of the combined arms that make up his army, it's just a pleasure to watch.
Enemy in sight.
Yeah, we have a howitzer up from Fir3ball as well now, which is going to make DevM's job a lot harder.
He's shooting towards the sniper location. DevM moving north to get away from it. Uh-oh. Don't want to move back into that range of fire. What? Oh, was that a mine or there? Something blew up. So they've both got some area of effect units now. DevM pumped out a Nebel, so we get to see some Nebel there from fire. It's right now just coming out of the Sturm Army. He lost a unit there. What did he lose? Something of the Wehrmacht evaporated.
Something on retreat, maybe a Pyro squad or a Volk squad. I didn't quite catch it. I just saw the XP popping up.
We got a single Pip vet for the infantry as they lob a grenade in at these barred up rifles in in the northern corner, and Ali misses it entirely. That grenade just gets him, and he will be lucky to save that squad. Fortunately for him, the retreat path is relatively clear. Ali's still got a great presence in the center right now. Look how far he's brought these flamers up. They're providing LOS. We know from Ali personally that he loves to just hop in buildings or cap a point so he can get viz on the enemy, and that's what he's doing right now. Look, checking out all those Wehrmacht troop movements and targeting for artillery. In it comes at the MG position. They're forced to run. There's action all over the place. The M8 has gone up north to deal with those grenadiers, and it has gotten itself a second stripe event with 12 kills. What am I talking? Who knows the game? Razor, I got you on that one. That M8's been good.
It's been great, yeah. No, it's done a lot of work. He's used it absolutely perfectly. I stand completely corrected.
We have a lot of fire coming in. Nebel's raining down on Ali's sniper. He retreats. Luckily for him, DevM sniper is not in range to try to pick him off. And the dance between these vehicles, you know, the Puma, the Stug, the M8, and this pack has been very interesting. You know, these guys know how to preserve units. They show us a type of game that you just don't see with lower skilled players, because those players don't keep their units alive like these guys do. So eventually you get this really dynamic usage of multiple types of units together. Great stuff.
Yeah, if you want to see something really cool as well, look at where the Nebel is from DevM, right? That is specifically positioned so that if the howitzer tries to counter battery it, tries to fire at it, that house will take the majority of the shots. It's almost impossible for the sort of arc of the howitzer to hit that Nebel in that position.
Oh, Razor, I'm so excited, man. When game one is looking like it's developing into a gem, it just gets me excited for the whole series. I am loving this.
Yeah, I mean, the sniper needs to die, really. The Fir3ball sniper needs to go down for DevM to have a chance to take out the pack and then start moving his vehicles in. Because if that pack goes down, there's not a lot of defense against this Puma running in, backed up by the infantry, and the Stug as well. So it's just the threat of a counter sniper at the moment that's stopping him taking out the pack.
Oh, there we go! Killed sniper by artillery, exactly what Ali was looking for. Man, he hit the jackpot there. That 20-plus kill sniper of DevM's is now dead, and Ali, whose sniper's just come back onto the field, can really let him rip. But DevM has a second sniper. No, sorry, it was the new sniper that died. The veteran sniper with the 23 kills is right here in the center with his little buddy, the Schwimmwagen, to spot for him.
I hadn't even noticed
and
that
look,
myself.
The Schwimmwagen has lit him up, and there's the counter snipe! Perfectly executed by DevM, just absolutely fantastic. The DevM creeps up along the side, exploits the mechanic of the hedgerow. You're not going to be able to pull tricks like that in Code 2, not with True Sight. Lights up Ali's sniper, and DevM does the deed.
Yeah, that Schwimmwagen was very brave. He probably knew that was the mine there, but he needed to get the counter snipe. And I think that honestly, Alias was not expecting him to have the sniper, because he'd just seen the XP come up. He'd just seen it get out. He's probably like, I have free reign.
I didn't expect it either.
I can take out, and I can just get completely free reign, and then he gets counter sniped, and that's a big deal. Sniper was at this level. It's a big deal.
So that's just smart, strategic build order there to pop out a second sniper during all of this. But man, Ali's still looking so strong. I mean, DevM is under such intense pressure. As long as the Americans have this pack and mines and the M8 just swimming around the center, I mean, they're going to be fine. It's on DevM's back now. Oh, and the second sniper gets killed by artillery. That's 2 in a row. Give these guys the Medal of Valor. They are just laser-sighted artillery here. Look at, they've only killed 3 dudes and 2 of them were snipers.
That's brutal. If I was DevM, I'd be kicking someone's dog right now. That is absolutely brutal.
Man. So the sniper slate has been cleaned. This is interesting. No, wait. DevM's got another one.
One kid.
He's got another one. What about Ali? Is he going to build another one too, you think? He's got another one. Where are they all coming from?
It's already out, actually.
Yeah, I know. It's in the center, uncloaked, standing by the fence, just chilling. Oh, man. Ali, please cloak your sniper. Don't make that mistake again.
Sniper ready.
Yeah, this is crazy. The number of snipers getting built is absolutely insane. I was going to say, though, that DevM's not in that bad a position because the VPs are not that bad for him. He had really good early game VP pressure, so he's got a long time to recover. And as everyone knows, the longer the game goes on, the Wehrmacht army gets stronger and stronger.
Nebel fire coming into the center. That's where the sniper was working, but Ali avoids it easily, chilling by some tombstones in the graveyard. Why did DevM walk his sniper all the way to the north, way on the edge of the map? What is he doing up there?
I have no clue. Maybe he had his Wehrmacht quarters rallied there for another unit, and it just happened to walk up there. But he's cloaked it, so he must know it's there. In fact, he's walking across the map cloaked. I'm not sure.
He just changed his mind. His mans are going to go the other way now.
Oh, there's no sandbags to stop them, so that's okay.
All right, Puma working on some rifles. We got the Grens in there. They're still only at 1 vet. I mean, you know, DevM has had to rebuild so many snipers here that he has not been able to invest that much in vet. We always talk about the Wehrmacht getting stronger and stronger into the late game. It's because they purchase veterancy, and every single unit that gets, you know, built out of their buildings comes out vetted up, but DevM really hasn't been able to take advantage of that.
No, I mean, it was the loss of the pack. That one push just set him back so far because he couldn't push on with the Puma, he couldn't push on with the Stug. He invested so much into both of them. And how much impact have they had so far? Pretty much nothing. Whereas the M8, which I said was going to be rubbish, has had a huge impact.
What do you think of the move of sending the Stug, like, out of the fog of the war south and go after their artillery piece, like we've seen in so many games, Korean Army games and Siberian Platoon games? You think that's a decent move or like a suicide run?
Well, I mean, it would have been nice if he'd done it before the 2 snipers were killed by it, but yeah, it would be worthwhile. It's always worthwhile to trade with almost any unit if you can take out the howitzer, because howitzers are just, they're free damage, constantly free damage.
All right, well, we've got Terror chosen by DevM, but we have not seen any doctrinal abilities used by him yet. There is a forced retreat. He did not want the rifles to be involved in this fight between the upgunned Puma and the Greyhound, double vet. Even upgunned, look at the Greyhound just handling that Puma.
Puma, here.
Yeah, upgun Pumas, they're okay, but I mean, they don't really kill M8s that well, they don't really kill infantry that well. I don't know, I think DevM's struggling because he needs to kill that M8 off, and he needs to kill, you know, he needs to have something to clear the pack.
Snipers exchanging shots at other infantry right in each other's faces in the center. I mean, you know, eventually as the bigger units come out and we get more and more use of combined arms, the fight is going to move into the center, and this is just so important, how these Volks and rifles engage and how this Puma stays alive, and it seems like all of the artillery has been at that intersection. Here comes the M8, wants to get in on the fun. Here comes the Nebel fire, and it takes out the pack. That's good. That's very good. Now the Stug and the Puma have more room to work. He must have known that he accomplished that, but the Stug and the Puma are still in the background. They need to push up. They need to go after that M8. Now's their chance. Come on, go for it, DevM.
Yeah, I've seen this before from DevM. Mid to late game, he starts to slack a little bit on his micro. He needed to have the Stug already moving in case the pack died. It should be moving up, ready to take on the M8, ready to force back the US, because now there's time to recruit.
What a huge shot from the Stug. The M8, just that rascal gets out of there. No damage to engine. He's going to be repaired. Another Nebel barrage in at that pack position. That's very smart. That's going to prevent these rifles, hopefully, from remanning the pack. Although he didn't get a break, there's no fire exactly on the pack. They could actually get in there and reman it without taking too much health damage. Let's see if they go for it.
The Puma just ran straight into the sniper, and the riflemen luckily were there in time to scare it off with the threat of a sticky, but that was a close call right there.
All right, well, the Nebel fire is extinguished, and now the rifles have remanned the pack, and it immediately starts laying shots in on the Stug. Oh, come on, DevM, get that Stug out of there. Oh, Stug took 3 shots from the pack. That's going to put it out of the game for a while. It's going to take some time to repair that. And now we see the M4 Sherman on the field roll out the red carpet. He's feeling bold. He's going in after the Stug. First shot. What a kill. Perfectly played by Aliash. That's the aggression that we like to see from Americans. And now this Puma is really in deep water with the Sherman and the Greyhound coming in.
That might do it,
Sherman
honestly. That also
closed the Nebel.
that gave the CP for off-map combat group. We already have one supply yard upgrade. He's going to start rolling off-map
you're
combat group
kidding.
soon. Got
And
500 manpower.
the Shrek is just about to pop. Let's see how this M8 is going to deal with Shreks on your tail feathers. There's a big shot going in. The Sherman is dealing with another Shrek'd up Gren squad. Getting interesting. Might be time for Ali to get out of there. He wants to kill the Puma, but I don't think it's... Whoa, look at those big hits from the Panzer Shreks. The stovepipe attack is coming in, and it looks like both pieces of medium and normal, you could say, armor in the Sherman are able to retreat. He's got to keep retreating. The folks are giving chase. The sniper's between them. There is a mine there. It might get hot and heavy here in the center. The sniper's about to be revealed. There it is. They hope for a lucky Shrek shot or some kind of crit. No dice. It goes straight into the bush at their feet. And it looks like the Sherman and the Greyhound are safe.
Yeah, good attack, good retreat from Fireball. Really was. Went in, did the damage that he wanted to do, got his stuff out without losing anything. Looking grim for DevM.
Beautiful Nebel shot. Puts the engineers on their bellies. Their job, their task of repairing the American vehicles here has been delayed, and this is what DevM needed to do. Cap the center, and he's starting to look much better. I'm telling you, Razor, this one's too close to call.
Yeah, the VPs, because he does such a good job in the early game of maintaining VPs, DevM's actually bought himself enough time to get a bit of an army rolling. And getting rid of that pack, like I said, that was the critical thing. The pack had to go back to get repaired and to heal the men. So then when the vehicles started moving forward against the very damaged US vehicles, there was no pack to stop them. So DevM's now managed to push that pack out, take control of the center. Now it's up to Fireball, some kind of really, it's going to have to be a big attack to force him back, because Stugs and Pumas, once they get there, supported by, Shrek'd up Grens, difficult to break.
Oh man, it's so hot now. Ali pushing out with rifles here. That pack has been repaired and is at full health, sitting on the bridge, making sure that no Pumas or Stugs are going to come into his strap point there as he tries to defend. DevM with just really keen targeting. I think he just guessed where the repairs would be occurring, as they often do occur in that little field, and he sent the Nebel straight in at that point. Oh no, rifles lost and 2 bars dropped. These Grens are getting their licks in.
Yeah, that squad kind of stopped in midair. I don't know, I think it bugged out because it was trying to retreat and the guy just stopped in midair and didn't end up retreating.
We have a sniper down. That was DevM sniper.
Yeah, DevM sniper for a mine.
Ali needed that because he was really starting to lose his hold in the center. Look at his units are having to fight. The Greyhound's not fully repaired yet. The Sherman's looking great though, and the pack's looking great. So those 2 units are tip-top shape. Interesting forced retreat. All of the engineers have to go. So this will allow these Grens to give chase against the American vehicles.
Whoa. Calm down, everyone. King Tiger on the field. King Tiger's the big boys on the field. He's going to come in and clean up all these US forces.
Man, I mean, Ali was looking so strong, and now with the King Tiger here, I mean, DevM won't have any manpower for many minutes. But if that KT can just sort of sit in the center, it's like he cleared himself the elbow room he needed at the perfect time.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for it. DevM's really got this. KT is coming rushing in, and he's even bringing Nebelwerfer behind it. Oh, off-map combat group. What do we get? 2 AT guns. 2 AT guns and a rifle squad.
Ah, that's not what you want. You don't want everybody on foot when you do the OMCG. You'd like to see some M10s there. He's already got the pack. It's going to be difficult. Let's see here. This is going to require some real tactical precision to sort of push his AT, the slow AT creep we've seen since the beginning of the game. The Grenstock going down, that'll help. Let's see Razor if he can put these 3 AT guns into a position where they're able to push.
Yeah, I think he should be able to, as long as he sort of screens them with rifles like he's doing now. He's doing it beautifully, by the way. So he screens with rifles and moves the AT guns up.
4 guys die. Those rifles need to retreat. You cannot afford to lose squads. We're probably going to see some stickies coming in. Here they come, the sticky bomb. Quinn Duffy mentioned Saving Private Ryan, one of the great inspirations for this game. And there you see the beloved sticky bomb and the M8 feeling very brave. Gonna rush in and provide some blocking while the Sherman's coming too. The Stug goes down. I'm sorry, that was the Puma. We got an off-map shot coming in right at the graveyard. Oh my goodness, Ali is going for it.
Holy shit, he's throwing everything at it. This KT needs to die, and I think it might. There's 2 AT guns firing at it, and it's a slow-ass beast, that KT.
The AT they're popping armor-piercing rounds. This little M8, the Could is still sticking around. He's out of control. The Sherman's down. The M8's down. Oh, some Grenadiers die as their bodies are catapulted into the sky and their Panzer Faust-Schreck is left on the floor. This KT is at a sliver of health. The rifles are rushing in. I don't know if a stick will do the duty. It's deflecting these 2 AT gun shots. The Puma's gonna flank the ATs. Let's see if this Tiger can survive. Oh, great Neville shot. The AT, both of them are out of the game. The sticky, the hopes of the Americans ride on it. No, it does not kill the King Tiger. Its main gun is destroyed. This Puma is still doing work on rifles. Goodness, can't DevM get the big beast out of there? If they grab the Shrek, this could do it right here. The Shrek could do it. Oh, they kill the Stug instead. Now they've got Vet. There's still 3 guys in the squad. They're taking cover. The KT looks like a big lame duck. Sticky, Shrek, no. Will the Sticky do it? There it is.
Oh my god. I was looking at the unit composition for Fir3ball just before that fight, and I was going to say he's got about 15 units on the field, and now he's got about 6.
Razor, this series is a best of 1, right? I don't have to cast anymore after this, do I?
Well, I think this is going to be the best one. I don't know if it's a best of 1 or not, but this is a fucking epic game, I've got to say. Look how much has died. They both had huge armies, absolutely enormous combined armies, and now it's a matter of you know, sending like an MG and a Gren squad into the center. There's no King Tiger, there's no Stugs, there's no Sherman, there's no M8. The poor M8, he did do work. There's no AT guns, they're just hanging around being killed by the Puma. It's going to come down to off-map combat group. That's what it's going to come down to.
Fir3ball on fire. One of the most thrilling attacks we've seen all season long.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see as well, like really aggressive American play, just throwing everything in from different angles, dropping artillery on map, off map, sticky bombs, stealing Shreks. I mean, that was a beautiful attack. This is how US is meant to be played, guys. This is why US can win.
Exactly. Let that be a lesson. People complaining about Wehrmacht OP, this and that. Well, you got to have balls, and you got to hit so hard when you get a chance, and you got to do it like Ali. You got to do it with every unit you have. Just, you know, and it came down to the Shrek on the floor. I think the King Tiger was on top of it. He was trying to retreat to friendly territory to get repaired, and in doing so, he revealed that little gold mine for this rifle squad. Now they're triple vet, and I see you do have an M10, so you must have hit a decent you know, bell or something when you pulled the slots. That M10 is going to come right into play. He can't seem to find the rear end of the Puma, though. What's up?
Yeah, that M10 dies before the Puma does.
Blanks. He's firing blanks, and he's getting, you know, Shrek fire rained down from the pews of the church. He's not going to survive it. Oh,
that's about 6 missed shots. This Puma's, I don't know what's going on with this Puma.
M8 chased the Puma down. The M8 chased the Puma down. The M10 is dead meat. He's dead. But you know, it's this triple vet rifle squad with a Shrek Razor. They are supreme badasses.
Yeah, they are. And I tell you what as well, the off-map combat group rolled an MG. And normally you'd be going, I don't want an MG, I want an M10. But an MG right now, pretty damn useful. Pretty damn useful, I gotta say, to stop the infantry pushes coming up.
Ooh, the tier 2 Kriegsbarracks goes down, and what horrible retreat timing. I would not be surprised if Ali planned this. He is an absolute master with artillery. I mean, it was artillery that cleared the Grens that dropped the Shrek in that big attack. And he's showing his supremacy again. Not only does he take out tier 2, but he's giving these Grens difficulty. DevM's lucky he didn't lose either of those squads.
Yeah, I mean, Fir3ball looking really good. I said it was going to be difficult to break the sentry. He was going to have to do something big, and he really did. He really went. He went huge right there. And the manpower, like the loss of manpower income from bringing on the KT, you should normally not lose your KT before that runs out. That's a pretty, you know, you want to play cautious with it because otherwise you just can't produce the same number of units that US can.
Yeah, well, hopefully that penalty to his manpower is finally over now, and DevM can get back to cranking out units. DevM sniper fortunately retreats through on-map artillery fire, and as these triple vet rifles take on this single vet Stug.
They're losing territory.
Yeah, I think those rifles can take on most of the Wehrmacht army at this stage. I think they're just going to walk into
those
this
rifles,
stage.
I have the feeling that they can win the game alone. Like, get on my shoulders, Americans, we got this.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair. I think Fir3ball should only be allowed to use that one squad to see if he can win the game from this stage because they're just tearing things up.
Man, we've seen the center just change hands back and forth, back and forth. Now Ali has completely decapped the strap point outside of DevM's base. He's going to come and set up the MG. These rifles, I don't think we'll be able to get that much closer. You know what? The sniper just missed them. As the rifles get double vet and they start getting a good percentage that a sniper will miss them. Oh, though, they're down to one squad. Ali, oh no! No, 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 Ali! What? No, no! I want to wring his neck! Razor, I want to wring his neck!
Well,
How do you lose that
the rest of his
squad?
army. I did say he should use that army to try and win the game.
It's like that's the only squad you need to micro. I don't care what's going on anywhere else on the field. No. No.
That opens up the game a lot more. It really does. Losing the Shrek triple vet rifles. Maybe DevM can sort of thrust back now. Oh, this sniper might go down in the center.
Oh, Razor, they're wearing me out. They are wearing me out. Look at DevM capping the strap point back as his two snipers come onto the field. Ugh.
I'll tell you what though, man, the problem is that Fir3ball's going to keep rolling the wheel on the off-map combat group. He's got a lot of manpower income, he's got double supply of upgrades.
Look at the excuse. The excuse. It's for me. He heard me shouting at him, and in the past, he spoke to me in the future and said, "It ain't my fault! It ain't my fault!"
Yeah, probably just selecting the wrong unit. Probably just, you know, there's been an intense back and forth battle, and Fir3ball's been doing a great job of microing everything. Sad to see them
I
go
can
down.
almost guarantee. Okay, if he tried to retreat them and they didn't retreat, okay, fair enough. But guess what, Aliaj, you should have tried to retreat them a lot earlier. All right, let's just put it that way.
He probably tried to retreat, and they said, "We're not retreating. We're Vet 3 rifles with a Shrek, man. We don't give a shit. We're staying in."
Yeah, right. They had a mind of their own. They became the commander. They don't take commands anymore. They just did what they wanted.
Yeah, DevM's looking in a lot of trouble now. He's under constant Howie fire. Doesn't really have a response to the M8 harassing him. And the off-map combat group is on again.
Pull the slots again. What'd you get?
AT gun, mortar, 2 rifles. The 2 rifle squads is great though. I mean, there's just the manpower efficiency of off-map combat group is utterly insane. Like late game, you just keep getting so much infantry onto the field all the time. Doesn't take any time to build. Just hits the field, instant impact. And I think DevM's done.
As far as OMCGs go, that's like as bad as it gets. An AT gun, 2 rifles, and a mortar, right? But still, it's, yeah, like you said, it's the preponderance of units, the just overwhelming amount of units that might be the end of DevM.
Yeah, I mean the rifles, they're not vetted, but they can recreate T-guns, they can throw a sticky, they can chase snipers off. They're a useful unit to have at all stages of the game. You keep hitting the off-map combat group, you keep getting more units on the field. DevM's struggling, man. These two snipers are not going to be able
Look
to
at him
kill
doing
enough
work.
units.
Another Stug lost to a combination of sticky and 57 fire. Yeah, and there we go. Artillery killing another one of DevM snipers. These could be the nails in the coffin. You know, this is the swan song of Americans, right? The grand send-off for the original Company of Heroes. This is the faction that we're going to miss the most, as they are not involved in Code 2, at least not in the game as it's planned for the initial release. Who knows what might happen later, but man, Ali is showing us how to play them tonight.
Yeah, there's a Stug that's immobilized with a damaged engine, slowly burning in the backfield here, and that's pretty much sums up DevM's game at the moment. It's crippled, it's burning, it's done. He's not going to be able to come back from this. But he put up a great fight. I mean, losing 3 snipers to an on-map howitzer. You asked earlier if he should have rushed it. Yeah, he should have done. He should have rushed it the second he knew it was on the field, because losing 3 snipers is absolutely brutal.
It's like the primary role of the Howie has been to kill snipers. He doesn't have, I mean, he's had 4 key actions in this game. 3 killing sniper shots and 1 eliminating the grenadiers that were guarding the KT and making them drop a Shrek. Other than that, you know, it hasn't been that influential. It doesn't have that much vet, but the things that, 2 stripes, I guess that's not bad. You get a lot of XP for killing snipers and grens.
What's on target?
Look at this
Yeah,
sticky
you
on
really
the
do.
level. Oh, destroys
Yeah.
the vehicle even. Nicely done. Get a little pip of vet for those Americans.
Attention. The enemy
Yeah, people don't realize the vehicle, you know, the hack, the Nebel, you can throw stickies onto them because they are a vehicle class of unit.
Look at the shells raining in. Stugs have not had a nice day today, Razor.
We are losing ground.
Well, I mean, it really does come back to the 2 huge, overwhelming attacks by Fir3ball. The one where he, you know, took the pack out, came in from several different angles, negotiated mines, dropped artillery, negated the tier 3 impact from DevM, and then that one against the KT, where everything died. The whole board was wiped clean. The KT went down. DevM couldn't reinforce his army in time, and that's those two fights out of a 45-minute game so far have won it for him.
Attention. The enemy advances.
I will love to watch those again. I want to see the replay of that one attack against the KT. You know, I think just before that point, DevM was probably feeling pretty confident. It was looking really good for him. And then, you know, I guess, you know, the timing was amazing. Ali, he had a howitzer shot loaded up, and he had his first OMCG rushing in, and he just put everything into play all at once, like clockwork. Those 2 AT guns, everything, you know, just balls out with the Sherman and the Greyhound rushing in to go and prevent any units from backing up and retreating. DevM throws in the towel. GG. Playback is over. These guys went head-to-head to 160 VPs each. Razor. That was a hell of a game.
That is how you play Americans. Everyone watching, everyone saying Vermax is the only faction that can win at high level. That is how you play Americans. You go in, you go big, you go balls deep.
Hell yeah! If NTD would do the honors, the Yankees win! The Yankees win!